Welcome to another episode of Battle Topics. I'm your host, Clayton, along with my co-host.
I'm Laughing Stalk, also of Ruin Your Day and Weekly Battle Feed. In this episode, we're talking about causing a little bit of a promotion for yourself and establishing battlers, finding new talent, finding the diamonds in the rough in this big, oversaturated battle scene we have going on. And I think the person to talk about that is Dirtbag Dan. Dan, how you doing?
Rah, the day, baby. Rah, yeah. What's up?
You don't want to dab with me. Rookie, you don't want to dab with me. This is Slab City. Take a dab with me.
Okay, so basically we wanted to touch base with you because you seem to be one of the more active former battlers and currently pushing the scene on trying to build up new talent. And you seem to be doing pretty well at that, building up names that have already been hitting main stage in less than a year. People like Frack, Madflex came through Battle of the Zay. You had all types of people. We wanted to know from your standpoint what strategy you took in this time where we needed new talent because it was the same top tier people battling over and over again and just getting recycled. And all of a sudden you stepped in and are still actively coming up with new ideas to create those talents and also having that eye for who needs to be pushed and who doesn't. So what strategy did you take for that?
I guess like when I knew I was going to retire, I decided that I was going to focus energy on developing talent. And I did start to get that feeling that the cards started to look like just the same names being shuffled around. So many people had battled each other. We were running short on kind of like new main stage personalities. Honestly, I'm definitely not the only person filling that void, and I've noticed like more people have came up in the last 2 years of battle rap than I think did in the 4 years before it. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the big names that are around now that were kind of the names that were just hopping around on those big cards between, 2012 and 2014 were people who made a name for themselves in 2009. And kind of it was the same group of people. People fell off, but not a lot of new people came in. But I think like for whatever reason outside of, me focusing on it, a lot of new talent has just popped up over the last couple of years. And it's definitely like, fuck, it would have been bad news if that wasn't the case. Creating opportunities is first and foremost the most important thing. But I think the one thing that I do that is different than any other league is I define a specific path for each and every MC that comes through BOTZ, which basically states that you pay to try out, you win that tryout, and you're guaranteed a battle on a main card. And if you do exceptional in that main card battle, then I'm going to put you up against a bigger name opponent than, some other tryout kid, which is essentially who everybody else faced. So people that have went and completed those steps, they got better every time. And the next battle after that was a GZ battle. And every time they were able to be impressive in that same atmosphere. And it's just, I put the pressure on early, and I feel like that has a good effect.
We talked to Frack about that, and which is awesome because, Frack is obviously very talented and deserves it. And before the Battle of the Zay system came along, especially on the Fresh Coast, I know personally, there wasn't really a developmental territory for younger battlers. We had the occasional prove yourself in ground zero events happening here and there. But for the most part, it was, I know, like Psychosis and Madflex and Astum, and there's just like a group of the same 6 or 7 guys. We were bumping elbows at the same events going like, all right, are you battling at this event? I am too, of course we are. We almost felt like we were in purgatory. And then you came along, and with the BOTZ system, it's like, here's a tryout, you do well, you go here, and if that goes well, you go here. It's a more structured highway for battlers to go down. And so it's almost like you streamline talent. And that can't be easy because in battle rap, there's 800 kids where if you say, who wants a battle? 800 hands are going to go up and say, me, I got bars, I'm better than so-and-so. So how exactly do you filter out the millions of kids who want to participate to the kids will perform well and will actually have room to grow on your platform?
Real easy. I'm a dick. I just, right off the bat will be like, you got what it takes. You don't have what it takes. Like I said, I put on the pressure early, right? And with Frack, he had an amazing trial. He actually lost that battle to Robo, but showed so much more in the way of just like that it factor, the thing that really separates, someone with bars from someone who's going to be like bringing people to the venue. You know what I mean? Like actually having their own fans and developing their own fan base. And nothing against Robo, but we had all watched the battle. We decided, we need to give this kid a shot right away. And he actually, the next card I put him against Lex D, which is like the perfect, like a bigger name, but not a big enough name to where you don't want to do like the Jonai disaster situation where you're like, oh yeah, you're dope, you're really dope. Now battle this motherfucker who's been doing it for 10 years on the highest level. You know what I mean? And then again, nothing against Lex D. Lex D is the type of dude who will fucking steamroll you if you don't have what it takes. And then he did good in that battle. I'm like on the phone, like, hey, put this kid on this back to basics card. You know what I mean? And that's really the only added bonus that anybody gets when they battle with my league is that if you are one of those people who is super impressive to me, I will personally make phone calls for you and try and get you on card. That's really what it boils down to.
Just within the last year, there's been so much demand for like up and comers and stuff that channels like GZ and your Battle of the Zay battles have become even more competitive than they originally were. GZ used to have this like stigma of just kind of like, oh, if it wasn't main stage worthy, it would go to GZ. But now even GZ has its own following and Battle of the Zay has its own following. And I've seen messages come into King of the Dots inbox saying like, yo, I'm ready to be on this blackout card. And we're like, what? Who are you? Like, do you have any footage? He's like, I don't have any footage, but my brother thinks I'm fucking nice. Like, I just battled my neighbor and I killed him, da-da-da. And I'm like, all right, well, and then we'll either refer them to someone like you or a local league or something like that. But
whatever's ever in their neck of the woods.
But it's almost like there's steps to it, and those lower steps are getting even more and more competitive with the better talent that's being sought out through leagues like yours.
And the fans don't, like, the aspiring battlers don't really know that. They think Tampon the Dawn can message a promoter and say, hey, put me on a GZ card. Meanwhile, there's somebody like SM standing there saying like, hey, fuck you. I got this spot for the last 3 years, and no, you can start back at the start of the line. And, you know, obviously the tryout system's cool because at least it gives you a shot to fail or succeed. If you pay $50 and you fuck up, hey, you just squandered an awesome opportunity, and that really sucks for you. But there could be the occasional frack who, you know, stands out among the rest. And look at that. We got a new person on the World Domination card.
Well, and honestly, it's like, as far as like, when it comes to the investment that people make, like financially, it's a fucking drop in the bucket. Especially since they get themselves plus a guest in the venue. That's half of the shit right there. You know what I mean? Like,
the luxuries they're being afforded with the camera equipment, the production quality, the opportunity, the platform. Dude, I would have paid $200 for that shot when I was starting out, and a lot of people would. And to complain about $50 for that is crazy.
You know, your shit's going to be filmed super pro and released from our channel, which, unlike GZ, never had the stigma of where throwaway battles went. You know what I mean? Like, our shit could be good, it could be shitty. If it's a tryout, it's probably shitty, but it's labeled as such. But for the most part, like, honestly, we have no illusions about, our position. We're not competition to GZ. We're the door to get to GZ. You know what I mean? Like, and it has to be that way. There has to be levels to this shit. It's just like, you know, I was just talking about Jonai and Disaster. If Jonai could have just came in off of like 2 years of battling total and hung in there with a guy who's arguably the best in the fucking world, wouldn't that make our sport kind of shitty? You know what I mean? If you
exactly.
On 2 years and just be in the pocket with the big boys, like, it don't fucking work like that for anybody. You have to go, you got to do your small league joint, and then you get your GZ shot, and then if you fucking kill it there, then you get your fucking opening main card look. You know what I mean? And like, that's how it works. You can't just pick up a basketball and be like, all right, I'm going to go play with the Warriors. No, it doesn't fucking work like that. The one difference I think that we have for every other league that's on our level is that we put it like out there. Like, this is, you pay this much, you show up on this day. If you win, you get this. If you win that, there's an opportunity for this. Like, we lay it all out flat. And it's not like, you know, enough people got to say you're dope to a certain dude, and then he'll be like, yeah, okay, maybe he is dope. Like, out here, it's like, you'll know right the fuck away. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty defined.
You almost did it backwards from the traditional sense where most, you know, backyard leagues start small and then grow and pay for big names. The first day events, you know, there was you, Roan, Deadman, Reverse Live, Caddy, like big names that actually drew people to the building and really built the name value quickly. And then after a few events, it's almost like you took over the prove yourself element where it's like, all right, this platform has shown to present the biggest names in battle rap, and they've performed well on it.
I feel like we're at a stage in battle rap where some of the staleness that was around like a year or two ago has kind of faded, and things are starting to get more interesting again, you know? But there are people that are burnt on fucking watching the big names battle, and they want to watch GZ battles, you know what I mean? They want to find that new guy. And I think that as long as there's that aspect of battling, as long as people are still interested in finding new people, then it's not going anywhere. You know what I mean?
So whenever you're doing these tryouts, you said like you know when you know, like what traits do you look for in these new guys where it's like, all right, that dude's got it?
I guess the biggest thing is personality. Just what, aside from bars, is setting you apart from everybody else that's there. And that's the one thing that's intangible you can't teach. And that's why that's so important. Because if you're a likable person, or more importantly, and this is what battlers have the hardest time fucking dealing with, you not only need to be likable, but people gotta want to be you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like wrestling in that sense. Like, people identify with their own individual dude, you know what I mean, who represents them culturally or geographically or whatever, you know? So whatever you are, like whatever your strengths and weaknesses are, they all got to work in a way that makes people want to be you or want to root for you or want to be on your side. Like, you could get better at writing bars and you can get better at your performance, but that shit you either got or you don't, you know? So
yeah.
It's definitely something that you could grow and work upon. So I'm not saying it's not like hopeless if you don't have that X factor, but it kind of is in a way, because ultimately that's the thing that's setting people apart. Next, it's all the regular prerequisites, fucking bars, delivery, good cadence, not annoying to listen to, like those things. It's a combination of multiple things, but that personality factor is the one thing that really is what sets the regular guys apart from the guys who are gonna, like I said, develop their own fan bases and all that good shit.
Personality is a very natural, organic thing, especially in California, which is like the home of cartoon characters in the best way possible, because, you know, the Lushes and the Caddy Rons and just these larger-than-life personalities, the Saurus, just very appealing humans. And so if you think you can succeed with 3 rounds of bars, you're not. There's nothing different about that. You really have to have something that sets you apart. And stuff like the Zay is, you know, yeah, there are events with 20 battles on it, but I can guarantee that at least one of the people in those 20 battles is going to be funny and likable, and you're going to want to watch again.
The larger the group, the more valuable standing out is. And the most we've done in the past is 20 MCs, 10 battles. Next time we're going to do 20 battles for tryouts on December 3rd. And that's like it's like a daunting task. We're just going to be running them, boom, 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 boom. But people are coming from all over the country to do this shit because they know that, you know, there's an opportunity here where there isn't, you know, maybe where they live, or even if there is one where they live, it's not happening, you know, right now. And everybody's trying to make this shit happen for themselves right now. Be reasonable about your own standards for yourself, because if you're trying to battle Lux and you can't get through a tryout, maybe that's not the thing for you. But if you're having fucking fun, then don't let, you know, the totem pole of this whole shit get in the way of you competing and fucking just, you know, doing what you love.
Totally off topic.
We're going to head into a segment that we call Off Topic, where we ask you a couple of questions. Brett, you want to kick off the first question? You got the first question, right?
All right, Dan. If you could pit one MMA fighter versus one battle rapper to fight within the octagon, be it for a sick sadistic pleasure or you think it'll be a good match, who would you pick?
Oh, easy. Demetrius Johnson versus Pat Stay. Demetrius Johnson is the 125-pound champ of the UFC. Literally like an unstoppable force at like 5'6", 125 pounds. Fucking unstoppable. And I will bet my life that he would beat the shit out of Pat Stay. And that would be the illest thing to watch. Like 125-pound, 5'6" dude beat the shit out of a fucking 6'4", 6'2" giant.
Okay, I got the second
that
question.
Was quick, huh? I didn't have to think about
yeah,
that.
I feel like required.
Yeah, you've had that answer in your back pocket.
Yeah, like you've had that answer in your head. Like, I wish someone would ask me this. I'm fucking ready.
Okay, second question's also another MMA question, since we know you love MMA. I wanted to get your thoughts. What are your thoughts on CM Punk's opponent going off script and not letting him lock in the Anaconda Vice?
What did you say? I thought that was the only reason that I was so up in arms about it, like making blogs and shit, is because I was watching CN and they're like, 5-time world champion CM Punk. I said, fucking stop. Stop. You cannot call the guy a 5-time world champion when he's going to do real fight shit. That's like calling Sylvester Stallone a 5-time world champion boxer. Like, it's not the fucking same. It's not even fair or cool. I respect the fact that he took the opportunity to try to do MMA. He did it in, like, the douchiest fucking way possible. As far as, like, made a big-ass fucking 2-year spectacle of it and then didn't even get a fucking punch-off like a huge pussy douchebag. There's tons of other wrestlers. Dave Bautista, who's a fucking... Who's an actor in Guardians of the Galaxy. He has an MMA fight. You can look it up on YouTube. He went into the small league because that's what you fucking do. You don't go in the UFC, you douchebag. He's fucking retarded. And that dude, Mickey Gall, like, that dude is, he's a kid who's been training MMA since he was 14 years old. If he would have even let CM Punk look good in there, again, there's levels to this shit. It would have been lame. Like, and it just shows the fact that he couldn't get by. He couldn't get a shot off on the bottom rung, dude. Like, unless you got some real fight sport accolades, there's no business being in there.
All right, so obviously CM Punk got the offer from the UFC, probably just as a spectacle thing to bring in money and tickets. And obviously pissed off a lot of fighters. There's, Jason David Frank. I don't know if you know the name. He was the original White Power Ranger. And he is in the martial arts. He's in the martial arts Hall of Fame. He's won a bajillion karate tournaments, like a legit fighter. Yeah, and so do you think? Green Ranger. He's Green Ranger, but he's an actual trained fighter with a lot of accolades. Do you think if the UFC were to bring someone like him in, who is a celebrity, who has some name value outside of fighting, but he can back it up as well, do you think that compromises the integrity of the UFC because they just want to sell tickets? Or do you think he deserves a shot because he happens to be a celebrity who fights?
Well, I'll tell you this. No one's making money selling tickets to a fucking Power Rangers fight, A. B, the reason that CM Punk is because CM Punk actually has more Twitter followers than the entire UFC as a whole, which I'm sure isn't the case for fucking Tommy the Power Ranger. But
I think you are severely underestimating the manpower that is Dork. No, you are underestimating Dorks by a large degree because I was at Buffalo Wild. I went out and I saw the CM Punk fight in public, and there were a bunch of wrestling nerds in their CM Punk shirts that got their hearts broken when he got knocked out right away. And I know that there's a big, loving dweeb audience that would say, hey, remember Tommy the Green Ranger? Let's watch him get knocked out. And that would bring in an audience that the average person probably wouldn't bring in. But I understand wanting to start from the bottom.
Don't start from the bottom. You don't have to start from the bottom. Just don't do it in the UFC. Do it in another league. The UFC is the pinnacle of the fucking sport. It fucks with the integrity of the organization for them to do that small shit. If you want to say that the guy who is the heavyweight champion of the UFC is the toughest guy on the planet of Earth, the only way you could do that is if you don't allow fuck shit like that. Shame on them for doing the CM Punk thing, and shame on every wrestling fan who thought that because he's a, quote, 5-time world champion, unquote, he had a shot in there with a real fucking guy.
Yeah, I can't believe you fucking thought that, Clayton. So another third question for the off-topic segment is, who do you think has a more overbearing relationship on Facebook, the source and his girlfriend, or you and your new dog?
Oh man, me and Lily got a long way to go before we could ever even. I mean, I'm not like pitching Lily's art on my Instagram or anything. I'm just thinking she's just pretty. You know what I mean? I just think pretty. I'm not like promoting her business through my, you know what I mean? Like, crazy that I've been married for 5 years and been with the wife for 10, and it's the dog that's the problem.
If you were to battle either of these people, who would you be more intimidated about having a personally exposing third round about you, Caustic or your wife?
Definitely wifey. Like, he would have to go full Roan and just be like, you're a good person, Dan.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that ammo in his arsenal. But I guess Weiss's bar structure isn't really as on point as Caustic is. I will say this. She has come up with a few different bars throughout my battle career, including when I battled Tantrum, the power of rice compels you.
So Dan, we're going to end with jokes over bars. We're going to talk a little bit about that real quick.
I'm going to be hosting, and I'm funny. I'm hoping Laughing Stock's good. He seems like he'd be okay. My boy Rory's good. FLO's good. And then the comedians, they're all good. So yeah, it should be fucking good.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I agree with the thing that it does have a potential to be just a complete clusterfuck disaster, and that to me is just as exciting as it going amazing because there's so many unknowns. There's such an untapped, not market, but an unsure audience of what to expect. So, if they're battle rap fans, who knows what the fuck they find funny from stand-up comedians, but it's worth finding out, I did it fucking 10 years ago, and I know what the comedy scene's like, and blending those two worlds, it's worth it. If it fucks up or if it's the best shit in the world, it's worth finding out. So, and I appreciate, all the battlers, at least I've talked to Carter, and we're both very happy that there's comedians on it in case, we shit the bed. It's like, there's guys who know what they're doing, yeah. It's not just battle rappers trying comedy, it's also comedians who do comedy. So there's a bit of an insurance policy on the card, and it's exciting. It's different. And if it's fucking different, then there's an excitement factor to it. And I think everybody should tune in, be it for the right or the wrong reasons, just to see how it goes, because most likely it's going to be entertaining.
Jamar Neighbors is going to go right before Carter, and Jamar Neighbors is I've ever seen do stand-up. But I've seen him do stand-up, at the, in the belly room at the Comedy Store, and he just sits in a stool and he's just saying the craziest shit ever. He fully is perfect for battle rap audience because he's the shock value dude. He just says wild shit. And, he's just a perfect setup for Carter, because Carter, obviously, I don't imagine he's going to be like Andrew Dice Clay and shit, you know what I mean?
No, exactly. Jamar Neighbors sets the crowd on fire, with pushing the boundaries and shit, and Carter gets on stage and is like, my microwave's been acting out. It's like there's something for everybody. No matter what kind of weird shit you're into, hopefully that base will be touched at Jokes Over Bars, October 28th, is it?
Yeah, and everybody who has purchased tickets to the Bunker, then it's $5 off. So usually it's $15, but you can get in for $10 if you have the purchase of the Bunker. So I imagine, like I said, 90% of the audience is going to be people that are coming back the next day to watch the battles. I don't know. I'm good, dude. I'm hella good. So.
Please end a Dirtbag Dan interview with him saying how good he is. That's absolutely perfect.
All the wild cards, we don't even know. You could suck. Carter could suck. I'm good. Don't trip.
All right, yeah, we'll just end it on that. All three of us are going to be there next weekend. Like you guys said, pay-per-view, KOTD.TV.
If you got your Bunker tickets, check your email and you'll be getting an email. Otherwise, hit me up personally if you want to get tickets to Jokes Over Bars just by itself. Or maybe you missed your chance to get the Bunker ticket and you just want to come to Jokes Over Bars. Just hit me up and we'll take care of that shit.
Hell yeah. All right, we'll just end it on that. Thanks, Dan. Thanks for being part of this, and we'll see you.
Thanks, Dan.
See you
no problem.
next week.
Do me a solid. Don't shit the bed, okay, Brett? Don't shit the bed, Brett.
Oh, too late. I already started writing, so it's kind of too late for that.
All right.
All right. Thanks, man.